Hello ladies and gents, and welcome back to Arist of Time. My name is Si, and welcome to Arist of Time Radio, episode 4. And today, as you read by the title, we're discussing my pick for the first automatic watch you should buy. And we're going to be taking a look at two models that I own. Swatch's famous System 51, and perhaps a watch even more famous, Seiko's number 5. So what I'm going to be doing is talking about the movements, the pros and cons of each movement, why I think you should buy one of these first before you dive into the high-end, high horology watches, and why these watches are a better pick than any fashion watch, as well as entry-level quartz Swiss watches from those higher brands. So we're going to start off with talking about the movements. So Swatch's System 51, very famous, 51 parts all held together by a single screw. The movement is made by ETA in Switzerland, all on a factory line. There are no human inputs. It's all done by computers and lasers, and it's all put together in a hermetically sealed case that cannot be serviced. Now, this is a bit of controversy, of course, because it's essentially an automatic watch that is a throwaway watch. But just to throw a few figures out, you do get a 90-hour power reserve, beats away at 3 Hertz, pivots on 19 joules. It only is a unidirectional winder, the Swatch System 51, despite what you may have seen. It's got that famous circular winding rotor, but it does only actually wind counterclockwise, so it doesn't wind when the rotor is spinning the other way. And you do get the hours, minutes, central seconds, but it's not a hackable movement. But of course you can wind it. So what's the nice thing about this? Well, it's a Swiss-made movement in Switzerland. So if you want that little bit of horology straight away off the bat, you're going to get that beautiful Swiss name on your watch. Yes, you're not buying a high-end piece, but you are buying a watch, automatic, made in Switzerland. So if that's something that's important to you, and it certainly is for me, and I own quite a few Swatches, including System 51s, it is. I like that sense of style, that sense of heritage that comes with that Swiss branding on timepieces. So, taking a look at the other movement that I mentioned, the Seiko. Now, Seiko have got a myriad of movements, and again, they are an in-house brand. They make absolutely everything. But the movement I'm going to be looking at here is the 7S26, which is found mainly in Seiko 5 models now. Originally, it was put into some of their entry-level divers, but a lot of the divers, for example, the Save the Ocean Turtle that I own, have now upgraded to the 4R36 movement. So the 7S movement is really kept for that basic entry-level Seiko number 5, and its stats are reading not too dissimilar from the System 51 in terms of your beats per minute. It's got slightly more joules. What it does have, however, is a lot less power reserve. It only has a 41-hour power reserve compared to, as I said, that 90-hour power reserve from Swatch. So you are going to have to wear it more or wind it more. But most importantly, and I think to watch enthusiasts, this will be the killer here, is that it is a serviceable movement, whereas the Swatch is a seal it and forget it until it breaks movement. Of course, I'm sure you could find a watchmaker somewhere who will break open the case and have a go at fixing it. But ETA don't sell the movements. You can find parts on eBay and things, but certainly on an official line, you won't be able to repair it. But Seiko number 5s are fully serviceable, fully repairable at any Seiko dealer, or indeed any good watch repair specialist. So actually, you could argue that it's a more traditional movement, despite the fact that it comes from Japan and not from Switzerland. Now, pricing, of course, is very important in this world. The basic entry-level Swatch System 51s are coming in at around about £120 here in the UK. You can pick them up for less. But if you're buying from the Swatch store, of course, you're going to pay retail. You can get one in a plastic case for about £120, And then if you want a metal case, you're looking at about £170. So, good value really, in my opinion, for a Swiss automatic. I think so. And again, as I said at the start, compared to the fashion brand watches that are throwing in cheap quartz movements into cheap cases, putting a brand on it and selling it for £300, certainly a value proposition. The Seiko 5, which has gone up in recent years, I can remember I bought my Seiko 5 for about £40. You're looking at near enough £100 now for a basic Seiko 5, and a bit more for the Seiko 5 Sports, which of course have replaced their SXK line. So, price-wise, we're looking at about the same entry level here. Once again, you can go a bit higher with the Seiko 5s. Their sports, some of their watches are, £250, closing in on £300 now, and they're still using that basic movement. So, of course, that is up to you. But once again, you're still well within that fashion brand price brackets. However, you're getting Seiko's in-house movements. You're getting the heritage of a Seiko, everything that goes with that name. So, the last point I wanted to make, which I mentioned at the start, was buying one of these watches in lieu of buying a luxury branded quartz watch. Now, perhaps this doesn't go so well. I mean, a Grand Seiko quartz is, of course, a manufacture movement that is built by a human hand and has all the heritage there of that brand. Of course, Seiko being the inventors of the quartz timepiece. But I would ask you this: if you want a Swiss watch, an automatic Swiss watch, do you buy that swatch for £120, or are you going to go and get the entry level Swiss brand quartz watches? Tissot will do you a quartz watch for a few £100. But if you want to get the automatic Tissot, maybe you'll pay £600. Hamilton will do the same. Tag Heuer will do the same. They will sell, even Breitling, I think, sell a quartz, entry-level quartz watch. So, are you going to spend £1,000 plus on a quartz watch? Or are you going to spend £150, £200 on the automatic swatch? That's a decision I think that's up to the individual. And but certainly, in terms of beating out the fashion watches, this watch wins hands down, and some of those other brands that I won't mention. So, my opinion, if you are absolutely new to this game, you've never owned a Swiss watch before, or an automatic watch before, maybe you only use your Apple Watch or your Samsung or your Garmin, and you want to, hey, actually, I'll try one of those. My advice would be, get one of the two mentioned watches, the System or the Seiko, and see how you get on with it. It's a completely different experience wearing a windable watch than it is to wearing a smartwatch or a G-Shock or a battery-powered watch or anything like that. So give them a go and see what you think. And that's the end of episode 4 of Arista Time Radio, guys. Thank you very much. Please start the discussion in the comments below. I like to read all your comments and have a robust discussion about this topic. I'm sure a lot of you have got lots to say. And thanks all for listening, and I'll see you all soon.